aqui também tá rolando a prima. Então só pra gente.
Sao Paulo is located 270 miles south of Rio de Janeiro. Everybody should know about Rio de Janeiro or have heard of it. Sao Paulo is the Brazilian capital and the most populated city in Brazil. Sao Paulo State is the whole entire state. Sao Paulo City inside the state is the city, and it is the wealthiest city and state in Brazil. Sao Paulo means Saint Paul in Portuguese. It is named after the Apostle Paul from the Bible. So let's talk about this flight. This picture here shows a picture over the Amazon. We was getting close, or it felt like we was getting close, but every time I look on the map, it felt like we still had hours to go. This is by far the longest flight I've ever taken in my life. It was decent, but something about this right here, I had to record this, something about seeing the outside sky and hearing the plane, that's really calming for me. After all the trips that I've taken, all the places I've been, it was time to leave the cold weather, come to the warm embrace of Brazil. This is me getting off the plane. I just wanted to show the plane. This is probably the first time I was on this large size plane. This plane held about 200 people. Me getting off the plane right here. A picture of the nose that was really, just stuff I wanted to show. This right here is a picture of the process of coming into the country. You have to go and present your COVID papers to that place right there before you get into the line where the backpack was for immigration and passport stamping and entry into the country. This is a nice picture, a nice little picture outside of the airport on my way out. And this is my first Uber ride in Brazil. And of course my Uber driver didn't speak no English, and I speak no Portuguese or little to no Portuguese, and we made it happen because you see we moving. I got the window down. Oh, before that, there's the monorail. So there's a monorail, there's a train, a speed train from the airport to the city. I didn't research it much, so I didn't pay attention to it, but that was the train tracks. You see I got the window down, showing the landscape so people can see what it looks like in Brazil. To have an idea, this is directly coming from the airport before we get to the downtown city. We are in Sao Paulo, the state, but we are not in the city of Sao Paulo yet, but we're going there. And so I wanted people to see a little bit of the sights. Here, this is a sign, this is a picture I take so I can use that so people know that I'm really in the country. So here we continue with a little more window down life. Listen, I had just came from Boston, which was 8 degrees when I got on the plane, and now I'm in 80 degrees. You can't blame a brother for putting the window down and getting some sun, getting some wind, enjoying the life, smelling the fumes of the truck. But I think it was about, let me see, around here, because I just got off an 8-hour flight where I fell asleep. So I'm filming, my camera goes inside the window, and I just fall asleep and drop the camera, and that scared the driver. And we woke up, I woke up and started recording again. I was beat, man. It's very rare that I fall asleep and I don't have control over falling asleep. But this one, I was out in the cab, in the Uber. So this is a little bit more of the landscape. And sometimes when people think about traveling somewhere, they want to see how it looks. They have these opinions on how it looks or these images. And this is just like B-roll stuff of what the city looks like, what the streets look like. Okay, so this is the part called, wait a minute.
Parque Ibirapuera.
Ibirapuera.
Now you know your boy couldn't say that, so I enlisted a little help to get me through that one. As you've seen in the previous picture, the green in the middle, surrounded by all the buildings, is the park. It's a pretty big park with a big ass lake and everything. And here I am just taking a stroll through the park. This is a Sunday, so there's a lot of people out with their families and kids. And pay attention to that bike that just passed me. Later on in this car right here. Later on I'm gonna tell you why it's important. But this particular park, Parque, whatever she said earlier, Puerta, I believe I'm saying it right. This park, the Brazilians say, is the most visited park in South America. It's funny because as you read a lot of things and you talk to a lot of people, this city and everything in the city is the most, or certain parts of it is the most. You know, of course, Brazil is probably the largest. It is. Of course, Brazil is the largest country in South America. But you start to hear when you talk to people, we're the most. And it's like, okay, a little narcissistic, right? As I try to always do, I see a basketball court, and I definitely want to film because I'm a basketball guy. This particular court was weird to see. Not weird, I want to say, but it was just, you know, seeing a team. There was one team with 3 girls on it, and the rest was all guys. And the girls' team was actually winning. If you don't know it or not, Brazil has a rich culture in basketball. For years, there have been your favorite player from your favorite college team that went overseas to go play ball, and they come down to Brazil. There's been countless NBA champions from Brazil. The state of Sao Paulo has 2 NBA players that were famous, Nene and Barbosa. Barbosa played with the Suns and some other teams. Nene played with, I remember he was on Denver, I believe, and I think he played for the Rockets. So Brazil has a rich culture in basketball. They have a Brazilian basketball league down here. It's lots of Americans on, or a few Americans, because you're only allowed, how the basketball overseas works, you're only allowed so many foreigners on your team. I don't know if that's changed since the time when I was thinking about going overseas to play, but that's the rules. But they have a pretty good basketball league here from all accounts that I've heard. I would try to go see a game if they're in season. I don't even know if they're in season right now. But here they had, I kept hearing the clanking, so they had metal nets on these 2 courts. Man, that reminds you of jail ball. And then I actually seen a kid down the other way with a Celtics jersey on. So he had the Kyrie Irving Celtics jersey on, so that was pretty cool. And I think I caught him. Number 11 right there. Got him. So this is, I tried definitely to catch the basketball course. And who knows, I might even go over there to get some run. So another thing, they have volleyball. This park has volleyball nets and courts. They have soccer fields. They have skateboard parks. They have these green little, I want to say vehicles where it's pedaling where you pedal with another person and you can ride through. And one of those almost hit me earlier. Since a kid, man, I've always been into skateboarding. I never skateboarded, was a skateboarder, I would say. But I tried it a little bit. We grew up playing Tony Hawk when Tony Hawk came out with his video game. So every time I see skateboard, I think it's cool because I like skateboarding. I think it's pretty dope. So it's Sunday, the kids is out, they're skateboarding. You see some of their parents around. Again, when you're in Latin countries, Sunday is like family day for them. It's a little different, and this is just a part of their culture, and it's something. It's pretty cool to know. So, when you make a decision to go out and do something, or you meet somebody and you want to take them out, Sunday might be a difficult day for them because it's a family type of thing. Or if you're invited on a Sunday, that might mean that she or he, whatever you into, really likes you and wants you to be around family. So take that into account when you're in other countries, specifically the Latin countries. So in this park, you got people rollerblading, you got people on skates, you got people on bikes, you got people on almost anything that can move that's not motorized in there. You see a couple of guys with the golf carts in there, but they're just moving product to the vendors. And so there's a dude. It seems like every country has that dude that's painted in gray and stands still.
But I thought this was a pretty cool tree.
10 man or whatever that is. I thought this tree right here was pretty cool. It looked like the tree grew like half part of the root out
it looks like
the ground. So
the root is out of the damn.
Brazil got some cool trees from when I was researching before I came down here. But with my weirdo self, and there was some things that I like to see. So we're continuing on with this journey. You see a lot of families, like I said before, walking. It doesn't
Trying
It's just a place to come and
stabilization
zone out. I've seen people walking.
Pixel has a new stabilization
people
feature.
So
I'm
it's a
holding it
place.
without
This park is really
the handle.
a cool place to just come
gimbal,
and
whatever it is.
decompress.
See how stable it be.
Really felt that when I was walking
setting
through.
up.
Part of walking through, I
Go
was
home.
trying to
I came out late,
record, to put up some content, but at the same time, I was like, okay, I can decompress here.
See what they got over
You
here.
can zone off in your own
get
world
something
or
real
be
quick.
inclusive into everything else that's happening there. Parks, they have parks for the kids, events and vendors and all that. You can either just sit by and you'll see that in a few minutes. This is me buying some. Man, I love the sugar peanuts, pause, but with the candy coated. I love them, so I had to get some of those. But here's a lake, right? And the lake, all up and down the bank, there's people sitting there and just chilling. And it is actually about to rain, and y'all see that in a few minutes. And so you can come down here and just decompress and relax and be in your own world in this park. And you can sightsee and you can look at people. I'm walking around with the camera and not anybody saying anything. This was funny. This is when it's starting to rain, and this little girl right here is like she's just learning to skate. And her mom, the whole time you'll see her, she's like laughing at her daughter. And I'm like, oh man. So I started laughing too. The mom was in the blue walking up. But it's pretty cool. She was teaching her how to rollerblade. Right here is this park called Artico, or this building called Artico. So I didn't know what it was, and you
Looks like an
can't
ice cream
see
spot.
what it
I
is
can't
from
never-
the outside. But what it is inside there's igloos, real ice
That's
igloos, ice slide.
Ice skating rink?
It's a winter lake.
What
Look,
that is?
I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I'm
Artico.
from Boston. It's cold right now. The last thing I want to do is come to a tropical
trying to
area
slide
and
up
be
out
in
of
some
here
snow,
because it's
some
already
ice or
raining.
snow. But I get it, because these people don't ever get to
time to
see
go.
that or experience that, so it's something to them. But
late
we
in
ain't
the
going
park, but
there.
this well lit.
I know how
I
that
have
is
to say.
already. So here we are.
We still walking, getting the exercises. Not phased by the.
And I want to show you this part because this is what I mentioned
water.
earlier in the video. So what I didn't know is that this little lane
So
right
you got to
here,
be
and
careful
I should
here.
have paid
'cause here's
attention,
peep
is
game.
where the bikes
This
go.
is the bike lane.
And I almost
that's-
almost got hit. So that's where the bikes go.
think that's
You
skateboards
should
or
not
something
be
like that.
walking on that because bikes
I
and
think skateboards, and then that's the walking lane. So you can't. We ain't
what
supposed to be
else?
walking on
Those
This part
two-man
right here.
pedaling joints that they got,
part here.
vehicles they got there, is for bikes. I think
This
this is
part
for
right here.
skaters. Like skaters, like
here.
I think you can skate in there, and then you can skate in
I like
the
how they
bike
got it set
path
up.
too. I think so.
But for some reason, the people
But
don't
this
walk
is
right
weird to me. This part right
on
here.
this side of the road.
Oh, the runners. So the runners is there. Okay, so that's the running lane. But this is weird to me because the left side where we could walk at, there was no like, okay, walk on the right and people coming to you or on the left. Everybody was like intermingled into everybody. And so it just was a chaos on the other side, but organized chaos on the left side, organized on the right side. So just like a lot of Latin American countries, they have these parks where you can go get your workout on, and they have these equipment for you to use. there was a dude over there and his girl, I guess, doing some crazy sit-ups. Yeah, I need to get on that. But here's the view of the bigger part of the lake. I believe the lake is split, or maybe it connects, I'm not sure, to the place I showed you earlier where the bridge was at. But at the end of this lake, there's some water spouts. I don't know what you call those things, but it's pretty dope, and they got color lights underneath it. I took a panoramic picture of it, and the panoramic picture is dope because it just HD'd up the colors and all that, and it showed the whole city and how the city looked behind with the glisten of the water. There it is. It's fire. Yes, sir. So you can see the color lights in the middle. It's a pretty nice park. Like I said, man, for mental health, listen guys, for mental health, stress from traveling, or if you work, you're traveling abroad and you're a digital nomad, like parks like this are clutch. Clutch for relaxing, getting your mind right. Also, parks like that are dope for a date. If you got a date, you can go to the park, have a great time. Trust me, I've done it before, and I'm gonna do it again. I don't know what this is, but it was in the middle of the road outside the park. But it's some monument or something like that. Here's your boy on a date at a restaurant. I didn't want to catch too much of her face. This is 212 Burger, located in downtown Sao Paulo. It's a New York themed burger joint. Pretty good food, pretty good drinks, pretty good staff. I liked it. So after the flight, it was Saturday night. I work on Monday, so I kind of wanted to slide out and see what the nightlife is. Somebody has suggested this place to go to, so I went there by myself and got into it. I kind of felt like this was gonna be a problem before I even left the States. Number one, I don't speak Portuguese that well. I mean, I know some words, I can understand some things from Spanish, or some things that are similar to Spanish, but there's a big misunderstanding, or a big misunderstanding when they talk to me. So you can imagine what it is about the music. The music. I haven't heard a song yet that I like. Actually, I'm lying. There's one that I heard that sounds good, but I don't know what the hell he's talking about. So I spent time in the club, listening to the music and just checking the vibes. This club is located in the Villa Olímpico area of Sao Paulo. So I thought this was pretty interesting. They had a sushi bar inside the club. You know, I had to try some. Actually, I was hungry. I was hoping that they had some cooked sushi, but that's all they had. So I had to go ahead and get that. I'm gonna say without the sauce, that stuff is no good. There I go, I drop my camera and try to eat, try to taste it. This guy is Japanese. He is Japanese. He's from He lives there with his wife and his kid, and we should be doing a collab sometime this week. But pretty cool dude, and it wasn't good without the sauce. Without the sauce, it was no good. Seaweed is not my thing, man. I have to be the seaweed part. I could have left that out, but you can't have sushi without seaweed. It just doesn't, the whole vibe. But all in all, it was good. This is the outside deck right next to where the sushi place is. You see the door in the back? That's where the sushi place is. So there's a little open area when you go inside the doors, and then in the back where the lights you see blinking is the club. So this is an area where you can come out, sit, have some drinks, smoke, socialize, do whatever you want to do. So I was out there for a minute, but we went inside because a girl actually fell and got hurt in between the wood planks. So I'm here smoking and chilling, and then a group of people came and asked to sit by the table, and she actually fell. So because of her falling, the club gave her a table. Her boyfriend, her boyfriend's friend, and his girl gave them a table and a free bottle. And so they looked at me and they just invited me. Luckily, one of the girls was Mexican and she spoke Spanish, and boom, we was in. So there's the group. That's the girl who fell behind. That's not her boyfriend. Her boyfriend you'll see later. She's bad though. So that was before the bottle came, and so you see how thick it gets. Remember, guys, or you don't know because I didn't say it, but this is like 1, 2 in the morning, and it's getting thicker. Sao Paulo doesn't get popping until later. Like you can get to the club at 1, 2. It's kind of like New York, and you know what I'm saying. It'll get popping later. So it started to get thick. A couple of Brazilian artists came on, and so you see them dancing, and so it's a vibe. Now I don't know who this girl is, but man, she was bad. She was thicker than all outside. The blonde right here on the left. They had a pretty cool dance choreography. I would give them the credit for that, but the damn music was not. I don't think I'm gonna be honest, man. Guys, I gotta be honest with you. This is no knock on the Brazilian people. I can't get into that music. Now, I'm told that Brazil has different types of genres of music. They have a trap scene, which, I could get a little ratchet too. They got a jazz scene. They got, I met a singer. The girl that I was on a date with, she's a singer. So I'm really curious to hear their other music. This music, this is the music that's running all crazy on TikTok if you got that algorithm, but it's just not something that I'll be like, let's go to that club and listen to 6 hours of this. You know what I'm saying? I love reggae music. I can't do 6 hours of it. I love rap music. I can't do 6 hours of it. I need that mix, that R&B, that bachata, merengue, salsa. I need that mix. But if I'm gonna be stuck in a club listening to this music all day, all right, just take listen to what it sounds like. Now, if y'all boys can do that all night, y'all better than me, because I can't. I would either tuck myself somewhere and go to sleep or catch an Uber up out of there. But it's the vibe. I mean, I'll be honest, if I'm drunk enough and like I'm lit, because I try not to get too lit when I'm outside the country and I'm by myself and I'm not with people I trust. If I'm lit with a group of people, I'll just vibe out. It's the vibe. But I can't get jiggy with that. I can't get jiggy with it. But it is what it is. It's still a fun environment. I love the environment. I love the ambiance. There was a couple side eyes I got. There was a couple of weird instances I got, but before I start to talk about that, I'm gonna wait until I get a little bit more time in the country, and then I'll give you guys a synopsis on that, because I don't want to jump to conclusions off of one incident. And I actually heard something from a YouTuber that does boat reviews about Brazil and Brazilians. And I don't want to stereotype them too. I don't want to stereotype them. I don't want to take his experiences and make that mine, or have that permeate my brain until I go through these experiences and see what it is by being boots on ground. So I'm gonna wait on that. Pause and put a pin on that. We're gonna keep doing these videos so that we can show y'all, and then I'll give you updates. But I don't know who this artist is. I don't know if it's somebody famous, but they started recording, so I'm like, what? You could take it, now in this age of YouTube, you kinda gotta be careful taking your camera out in certain places and catching people, you know what I mean? Because people don't like that, or some people get angry, or somebody's cheating and got caught on camera. So I seen people taking their phones out. I was like, all right, I'm taking my phone out and get this footage. So you see me focused on, she was bad. She was definitely bad. The club, the vibe was good. Let me give you the vibe of this place. I don't know if it was because of the night and there was concerts going on or artists there, but people were like dressed up. I wasn't too dressed up. People were dressed up. I didn't see too much dancing. So my first travel experiences are like Dominican Republic, and as far as the Latin community goes. Growing up in Boston, we have almost every Latin community in Boston. So you're used to the similars, bachata, merengue, salsa, cumbia, things like that, ranchero. Like those are dances where people get up and dance like together. You ask a girl to dance, you go out and dance. You don't even have to know her. You don't even have to like her. You just dance. And then after the song's over, you go on about your way. She goes on about her way. I didn't see this here. And I'm not sure if it was because of the type of music that was being played. But I never really heard of the Brazilians having a certain type of music where they dance, with the females. I know the Portuguese do, I know the Cape Verdeans do, but I don't know about the Brazilians. But I'm gonna explore that and see, because I didn't really see. It was just like people posted. Like when I go to clubs in the States, like we posted on the side, you know what I'm saying, and we doing our two-step in our corner. That's what it was. You'll see an occasional twerking, which you've probably seen. They do that a lot to this music. So you'll see a couple of shorties twerking and all that. But as you see, people just standing around. That's the security dude. He was watching that girl too, and I caught him and he laughed. But look everybody's just standing around, even in the upper balconies. There's no dancing, and I get it, because this may be an artist. I don't know who he is. I asked, nobody knew his name or nothing like that, so I don't know. Maybe they just watching the show, but I mean, if I'm going to a concert, I'ma dance. I've been to countless artists for the Dominican Republic, and like we don't sit there watching, we be dancing, and then when they stop talking or something like that, then we dance. But I'm gonna investigate that. That's on the list. But this is Vitini Lounge in Sao Paulo, and for the most part, it's dope. I recommend you go. This is the guy and his girlfriend, and he thought I was a fighter. He thought I was like an MMA fighter, so he showed me a picture of somebody that didn't look like me. All black people look alike. And that's his girl. She's tough. She's tough in the paint. The table full of the liquor that we got for free. So we was drinking on some gin, but y'all know I'm the brown liquor baron. I had been drinking brown liquor all night, so I had to get up out of there. I told him I was going to the bathroom, but I dipped out because I wasn't feeling good. So got into the cab, but took some pictures of the street and what the activity was outside of the club, and so just wanted to show you guys this on my way home, on my way up out of there, waiting for the Uber. And yeah, it was a nice night. Check out their Instagram.